Bonjour, this is Coach McCarthy, and we're continuing our unit on place. So when we talk about place, we say a lot channel, right? How your products get to the end user, right? The consumer. We are the producer. How are we going to get our product or our service sometimes to the consumer, the person that's going to use it? So and we talk about how your product is bought and where it's bought. We're going to move through these a little quicker sometimes on our review than we normally do. We talk about perishable items, all right, distribution channel, direct and indirect. And that's what we're going to talk about today is more so indirect distribution. There are some good things and bad things about using indirect distribution. And we've talked about that there are intermediaries. And that's when we get into indirect distribution. Those two are connected. And with those intermediaries, we talked about a couple different ones. So we have agents, transporters, warehouse facilities, wholesalers, and then we have retailers. So those are our 5 intermediaries, and we're going to talk about those in depth a little bit more today. And again, anytime you are using intermediaries, that's indirect distribution. It's going through someone. There's good things about intermediaries, all right? And again, this ensures, but they want to have their money also. So everyone gets a cut. So if you're going to use those intermediaries, there is a cost normally associated with using those. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about benefits of distribution channels. And with distribution channels, again, we're talking about intermediaries. So while making channel decisions, a company may need to weigh the benefits of a partner with associated costs. And again, good things and bad things. When we use these distribution channels, intermediaries, a lot of times we can count on them to be specialists. Intermediaries are typically experts at what they do. They can perform the task better and sometimes more cost effectively than the company itself. So, an example of being a specialist. I'm a chef. I make food. That's all I want to worry about. Okay, I don't want to have to worry about getting my food to someone. So, I can hire Uber Eats, come pick up my food, drop it off. DoorDash, another company, they're a specialist at what they do. DoorDash doesn't cook anything. They're an intermediary. That service is not free. I can promise you that. All right, but they're specialists at getting your product to the consumer, the transportation aspect of it. The next thing we look at quick exchange time. Being a specialist and using established processes, intermediaries are able to ensure deliveries faster and on time. And we'll stick with our example that we were just talking about. All right, we have DoorDash, we have Uber Eats, both deliver food from restaurants to the consumer, the person that's going to eat it. So we can take our other examples that from the same thing, food, Domino's, Pizza Hut. These are restaurants that typically have had delivery, all right? And they're showing that delivery, it might take a little bit longer. So we have, and it's a restaurant, so they're not really a specialist at delivery or cooking food. All right, maybe they can be, they're trying to find that. So now we have a situation where I can be a specialist at being a chef. You can be a specialist at the delivery because that's going to make sure that my delivery can happen faster, right? Since that's all you're worried about is delivery, you have drivers. You probably have more drivers than I could have if I was just a chef. I'm not going to be able to hire 20 drivers, whereas a place like Uber Eats or other delivery services, they're able to hire a large number of drivers because they're specialists. And since they have more, that's faster. They can operate faster. Okay, so they're able to ensure deliveries happen faster, and they can even probably ensure that they're happening on time. Another thing that we talk about. So variety for the consumers. By selling through retailers, and we talk about those being our stores, consumers are able to choose between a variety of products without having to visit multiple stores belonging to each individual producer. So we look at, you go to the store and there's chips, all right? Since we can go to the Kroger, we can see a lot of different kinds. Now, if we didn't have those types of retailers or everyone had to have their own store, then you'd have to go to the Lay's store, and then you'd have to go to another store if you wanted their chips. So everybody would have their own place. By going through that retailer, they bring it together and they can put a large display of different products out there for the consumer. And if we want to get ours out there, that's a good way because people are going to see ours. They don't have to go to just our store. Well, maybe if they don't like one item that they sell, they won't come to our store. But if we produce multiple, we can put it out there with other people that produce multiple, and we can have our product displayed with theirs. So we've talked about this one before also. Small quantities. Intermediaries allow the cost of transportation to be divided, and this in turn allows consumers to buy small quantities of a product rather than having to make bulk purchases. This is possible when a wholesaler buys in bulk, stores the product in a warehouse, and then provides the product to retailers located close by at a lower transportation cost. So both of these we talked about a little bit before in our examples in previous videos. All right, we talked about our ramen noodle thing. All right, nobody wants to buy a whole truckload of ramen noodles. All right, that would be a bulk purchase. Even buying them by the. All right, sorry about that. So we talked about small quantities and how the intermediaries can help out with this. And we talked about this example before. So at the bottom second paragraph, this is possible when a wholesaler buys in bulk. So the wholesaler is going to buy the truckload of ramen noodles. Right? So he's got the whole truckload, multiple pallets on there, a whole bunch of individual packs. He's going to store the ramen noodles in a warehouse that he owns. He might have multiple warehouses around the country, and we talked about this, so he can make his deliveries easier. And then provides the product, the ramen noodles, to retailers, the stores, located close by at a lower transportation cost. So he's going to hold his ramen noodles at a warehouse in Las Vegas. We'll just pick Vegas. And that way he can ship things out to California because they might like a lot of ramen noodles. I don't know where they eat a lot of ramen noodles. But that's how that works. So the wholesaler buys in bulk. He holds the pallets. The retailer buys one or two pallets. And then we, the consumer, can go buy one package or two packages of ramen noodles. Next, we have benefits of distribution, sales creation. Since retailers and wholesalers have their own stake in the product because they are having to pay for it, all right? They've bought it a lot of times and they're holding it and they're going to sell it off. They may have their own advertising or promotion efforts that help generate sales. And we talk about wholesalers buying in bulk, retailers, also stores. They're not just holding the product. Sometimes they are literally buying the product. They've already paid for it, so they need to make sure that they sell it, all right? Typically, you'll see this with your grocery stores. A lot of them are buying that product ahead of time. They have to sell that product, and they have to be able to make money. So they've put so much into that. They've put so much money into that package of Oreos that you're going to go there and buy. When you buy that package of Oreos, they have to make sure that they're going to be able to make money. They don't want those Oreos sitting around for forever because they're going to go sit stale. So they might have their own promotions going on for them to try and make sure that they're going to sell them. The next thing we talk about is payment options. Retailers may create payment plans and options for customers, allowing easier purchases. An example of this is a layaway, where we can make payment plans. All right, buying something on an installment. The main retailer can do that. The producer, they're probably not going to want to do that. When they sell their TV that cost $400, they want their $400 right then and there. They don't want to make a payment plan with you. Right? Even if you buy something with a credit card, you're buying it on payment plan. So those retailers, the stores, they're going to make it easier for you to make that purchase because they can spread that out over a period of time. The next that we talk about is benefit being information. The distribution channel can provide valuable information on the product and its acceptability, allowing product development as well as an idea of emerging consumer trends and behaviors. We look at this example and we look at a retailer, all right, the grocery store. They're selling your items. You might hire a company that's going to be delivering your items. And we'll talk about cookies as our example. We make cookies. That's all we worry about. We're a big-time cookie national company. We hire an intermediary to ship our cookies for us. We go straight to the retailer because we don't have a wholesaler right now, and we're not making quite that many. So ours go right to the store. So what we can gather from them is information. The retailer is going to let us know what's selling. Okay, we can also ask our transportation, hey, what other cookies are you taking over there? If you're only picking up one pallet or two pallets of our cookies, maybe we can see what's on their truck. Okay, this other company is selling 7 pallets. Well, we can do some research to see what they're doing, right? And see what some other products are that are going out there. That way we can make sure our product is going to be what people want. And we talk about that, making sure that we get to the point where we have needs, wants, and demands. And if we can get the demands, we can start making some money, folks. And that's what we're looking to do.